What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. We're doing another episode of Fishyy Talks here. Once again, it's been a long while, but today we are going to go over ECS and what I think is going to happen, and then we're going to briefly just go over some of the storylines I think are really cool in the upper bracket. So let's check it out. So we got 4 teams and 4 storylines. You got Astralis. First of all, this one doesn't need too much explanation. Astralis, they've always been a team that just can't get past the semifinals, and they're in a semifinal, and they're going to be playing in like 10 minutes from the time I'm recording this. And I think it's going to be a cool series. I think that Astralis are going to beat SK 2-1. But in my opinion, this is a really cool storyline because Astralis, like I said, they've always been a team that can't get past the semifinals, but now they're under new leadership, and that's Glaive. And as you can tell just by watching, they're definitely playing a lot different than they played with Kerrigan. I think that they're definitely trying to believe in the system, and that's something that Kerrigan criticized his old teammates by recently. He said that, in the new phase team, he has more control, and he likes playing on a team that listens. Right, Astralis, it seems like they're a pretty ego-driven team. They've got a lot of players that, if their system isn't working, they just straight up don't do it. They just go for these individual plays. And I think that's where a lot of their choking problems come from. And I think that bringing in this new player, Glaive, to lead this team, even himself, Glaive's done pretty good. I think he's a better fragger than Kerrigan, in my opinion. And he's definitely done... you can definitely tell he's changed around the team a lot. They definitely play a lot different style of Counter-Strike, and I think it's going to benefit them, especially against SK with the stand-in. I think they're going to win that 2-1, head to the grand final. But, that's their storyline. Can they win this tournament, finally get past this struggle they've always had, and win something with a new player? And I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it yet. That's for later in the video. But we'll see, right? SK, their storyline is also pretty straightforward. SK, they were obviously at one point the best team by 3,000 miles, right? They were just revolutionary in the way they played the game. They were all individually insane. Fallen, not only is he probably one of the best in-game leaders to even touch the game, he's probably one of the better oppers to touch the game. Right, by and far, probably the best opper in the world right now. Guardian, he's kind of fallen off. So you got Fallen. coldzera, who in my opinion is the second best player in the world. Depending on the day, it could be the best player in the world next to Simple, who in my opinion is probably just the better player all around just because of his style. And that's for another video. That's another video I want to do. coldzera versus Simple. But SK, right, they've got this huge brand, right? This best team in the world, this, crazy roster. All of a sudden they get into this slump. They go months without winning anything. It's like this crazy huge thing. And all of a sudden, stuff starts coming out of FNX, and people start, questioning things, right? He's had problems in the past with teams. He's always kind of been this person that is infamous for causing problems within teams. A lot of really bad rumors come out. Something that Fallen said got leaked or something about FNX. And then, they say, oh, no, we're not going to get rid of him. And all of a sudden they do get rid of him. And they replace him with Fox. And that in itself is a pretty big storyline because, let's be real, Fox did nothing with FaZe. He's always kind of been this player that he just was kind of bad. It's tough to say, but he's always kind of just been a bad player. And all of a sudden he's getting picked up to SK, the best team in the world. Well, not right now. They're not the best team in the world, but they've got this huge fan base, this brand behind them. And all of a sudden you get Fox, and it's kind of a surprise, right? You're like, why Fox? But obviously it's because of language barriers and time constraint. And it's interesting to see what he can do on this team. He hasn't done too bad thus far. I mean, he had a really bad first map. He hasn't done too bad in the following maps, in the series. He honestly hasn't done too bad. We'll see what he can do in the semis versus Astralis. And if they can win this, can they break their slump with a stand-in, right? That's kind of their storyline. And then you've got Envious, who, let's be real, no one even remotely anticipated them coming into this to even get to the semis or even have a chance to get into the grand finals. But they're facing off against Optic, who, if they're going to, of the people that are in these upper brackets, Optic's the team that you know, would assume that they'd want to play against because they're a North American team, right? Even though they've got crazy form, they're still a North American team at heart, right? And North America hasn't really done much. So, can they beat Optic and make it to a grand final, which would surprise everyone? I mean, they've got a crazy good roster, aside from Sixer, in my opinion. Can they actually do something with this roster? They've got Kenny S., one of the better operators in the world. NBK, who's by and far probably one of the best support players in the world, next to people like Crims, and even though he's kind of been in a slump, and Zipniks and stuff like that. Happy, who I'm not even gonna say anything about Happy. He's just Happy. And then you got Apex, who's probably one of the better entry fraggers to play the game, right? You got all these crazy good players, and can they do anything, right? It feels like this team has just been riding out their contracts, waiting for the next front shuffle, and all of a sudden they make it to a semifinal of ECS, which is a pretty big tournament, by the way. And it's a little surprising, to say the least, right? And then you've got Optic, who, they just came off this huge E-League win. In my opinion, they've got the best form of all the teams right now. They're still a North American team, so we've seen what Cloud9 can do, right? They've come off a huge win at EPL, and all of a sudden just bomb out in group stages of every tournament after that. Like, right, we'll see what Optic can do. You anticipate really big things, but can they pull through? Can they win a second big tournament for this team? And I think that, their storyline is one. If they can win this, that would definitely 100% solidify them, in my opinion, in the top 5 in the world, at least if you're looking at just pure current form. That probably just straight replacing Cloud9. And 2, it would solidify them just as an international contender, and it would be like the first North American team that's, won a big tournament and was able to follow it up and continue to cause problems in the international scene. Because Cloud9, they always do. So, like, Cloud9, they had that first huge run, did really, really good, but didn't win anything. They just did really, really good and took maps off Fnatic, who at the time was just by and far the best team in the world, and just, did really good things, but didn't win anything. Then this newer Cloud9, they win EPL. They do really good leading up to EPL with all these semifinals and blah, 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 blah. Lose to Immortals in a couple tournaments they should have won. And then they just start doing really bad, and they're in a slump, and then they're already talking about roster changes. Can Optic win this second big tournament, get this huge run for North America and continue to do it, right? Can they continue to do it? North America always has the problem with hitting just a wall and then just falling off completely. Can Optic, when they hit that first wall, and it's sure to come, it might even be against Envious, right? Can they hit that wall and continue this good form, or are they just going to fall off? Because so far they've been pretty momentum-based. If they lose that momentum, what's going to happen to them? And that's kind of their storyline. Can they follow up E-League, right? If so, this is the tournament to do it. This should be a pretty easy win for Optic, in my opinion. And let's just go ahead and transition straight into it. Who do I think is going to win ECS? And it should be pretty straightforward. Optic. I think Optic's going to win. In the final, it's going to be Astralis, Optic. In the final, Optic's going to take it 2-1 once again. And, that's, again, going back to that question. Can Optic follow up E-League? I think they can. I think that they've got a crazy amount of momentum. All their players are hitting their stride right now. And I think it's not the type of stride that it's not like all of a sudden all their players just hit this sick form like I think Cloud9 kind of ran into, where all of a sudden all their players are just like doing really good in what they're supposed to be doing, right? I think it's more of like their system just is coming together, right? Their coaches, everything is just working right in this team. And it's not like I said, it's not like the Cloud9, like where all of a sudden it just happens. I think it's like built to be like this, right? It's because of the system. It's not because of the players just hitting a fluke couple games or fluke run of form. I think it's the way the team's built, the way the players play off of each other. I think this is a type of run that can last a while. This isn't just like a fluke run. Not saying that Cloud9 or any other team that hits a run of form like this is a fluke. I just think that the way that they play just constitutes these big plays. You constantly see it, like the way they do their rotate CT side allow for players to either get these hero plays or to get backup. Like Naf, the way they, like you saw in Cash, like the way that they play A with Rush and Naf constitutes one of them getting a hero play or them to just hold the bomb site or obviously lose it, right? Rush plays close to that fork smoke highway, right? He can either push through and get a 2-3K, win them the round, or Naf can get it from quad and get a 2-3K, or one of them dies, the other gets like 2 kills, and then they win on the retake, right? Just the way that they play constitutes big games for individual players. It's not like a standard setup where they just play passive in the site, you get 1-2 kills, and then your team retakes with you, right? They just play a style of CS that's just like, it's scrimmy CS, right? It's North American CS, and it's working because they're playing as a team. And I think that's the key to what Optic is doing right now. They're playing as a team. And I think that's where Cloud9 struggles a little bit. They're playing a little bit too individual. And I think that's just, that's for another video. But I think that Optic, they're just playing as a team right now. They're hitting their stride, firing on all cylinders. I think they're going to win. Astralis, I think they're going to beat out SK, probably 2-1, if not sweep them. Optic, obviously, they're just going to sweep Envious, in my opinion. I don't even know how they made it to the semi. But if they can somehow take a map off Optic or even beat Optic, that would be crazy. But I think they're just going to get swept 2-0. I think that Astralis is going to 2-1 SK. Fox, he's been playing okay. If he can somehow, pull out some big games. Cold Zero can pull out some big games. Fallen's been playing oddly bad, so we'll see what they can do. If they can pull it together, maybe they can beat Astralis, maybe. I don't know. I don't see a world where that happens, but you never know, right? I mean, it's SK. They're a really, really good team. If anyone can do it, they can do it. Astralis, they've kind of just been a little lackluster. Glaive has definitely brought some really good things to this team. We'll see if those good things hit on this tournament. I think that they could, and I think they're going to 2-1 SK. But I think we're going to see a repeat of what we saw at E-League. And Optic, they're just going to have that momentum, and they're just going to take the series. And that's what I think is going to happen at ECS. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Check out my Twitter. Follow me there. I send out cool updates. I post random opinions on stuff. And follow me on Twitch. I stream pretty much every day for a couple hours. Stream pretty much anything, Counter-Strike, Battlefield, chill stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, subscribe, like the video, and see you guys on the flippity flip.